For a while, picking the standard iPhone meant settling for less. It wasn't just missing out on pro extras like a strong processor or a telephoto lens camera. It was losing access to core features that genuinely make the iPhone better. Things like high refresh rate screen, the action button, or a display bright enough to comfortably use outdoors. Over time, Apple has chipped away at that gap by adding many of these essentials to the regular iPhone. But two major holdouts remain, the always-on display and the high refresh rate screen. This year, those two features are finally here, and for the first time in years, choosing the standard iPhone doesn't feel like a compromise. I've spent the past week making decisions on whether to go for the iPhone 17 Pro or the base iPhone 17, and these additions genuinely change the way I think about this iPhone. Based on the specs, the phone feels quicker, more seamless, and noticeably more convenient thanks to the upgrades. There are such fundamental improvements that my only complaint is how long it took Apple to finally include them. Let's rewind a little. Apple has spent years drawing this line between the regular iPhone and the Pro models, and if you wanted the best experience, you had to pay a premium price for it. Otherwise, you would always feel like you are missing out something. That missing out feeling is exactly what kept a lot of people, including me, from buying the best iPhone, and honestly, it was deserved. You weren't just skipping the bells and whistles, you were skipping basic quality of life features. But the iPhone 17 finally closes that gap. Let's start with the big one, the always-on display. It works exactly like it does on the Pro models. When you set the phone down, the screen dims, but it still shows your wallpaper, widgets, the clock, and notifications. It's customizable, and once you use it, you realize how much sense it makes. I've been using this on my iPhone 14 Pro and I really like it. A quick glance shows my notifications, or simply what time it is. I've even added a music widget so that I can control my music with ease. It feels like the phone is more useful, even when I'm not touching it. Battery impact, less of a worry to be honest. I got a few percentage off across the day, and since I was constantly ending my days with a charge left over, I never thought about turning it off. Now the second big upgrade is the 120Hz promotion display. Now on paper it doesn't sound like much. The screen can slow down to 1Hz to save battery, and ramp all the way up to 120Hz when you scroll or swipe. But the difference in feel is massive. Apps open smoother, scrolling feels effortless, animations feel alive. And once you've used it, you won't go back to 60Hz screen. It makes everything, even boring things like email, just feel better. And yes, this is something cheaper Android phones have had for years, but that's exactly the point. It's been overdue for the standard iPhone and it finally feels like Apple caught up. The display itself also got a bit of polish. It's slightly larger at 6.3 inches. The bezels are slimmer, and Apple added an anti-glare coating to cut reflections. Combined with high brightness, it's noticeably easier to use outdoors. Apple also claims it's more scratch resistant. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when I test these features out. And leave a like to the video. I don't know if you've noticed, but YouTube views are down and this helps out a lot. Thank you. Let's talk about the cameras on the iPhone 17. The ultra-wide got bumped from 12 megapixels to 48. In real shots, the difference is subtle. You get sharper and rich colors. The selfie camera is the bigger change. It now uses an 18 square sensor with Apple's center stage framing trick. Take a selfie alone and it frames you tight. Add a friend and it zooms out. Add even more people and it will shift wider while you are still holding the iPhone upright. It's automatic, but you can override it if you want. It's not a game changer, but it makes casual selfies more convenient. The main camera is unchanged, still 48 megapixels, still solid but not quite on the Pro levels. Zoom is where the standard iPhone still lags. The Pro iPhones get a dedicated telephoto lens with 4x optical zoom. The iPhone 17, just a 2x crop. If zoom matters to you, you'll need to get a Pro iPhone. Under the hood, the iPhone 17 has Apple's new A19 processor. It's quick, efficient, and paired with faster wired and wireless charging. Storage now starts at 250 GB, which is double last year's base. For those worried about the battery, I'm pretty sure it lasts a full day of use and stretches into the next afternoon. Design-wise, it's business as usual. Unlike the Pro and the new iPhone Air, the iPhone 17 doesn't get the flashy redesign with the camera back. But have to admit, the green color looks fantastic. It's subtle, clean, and one of Apple's nicest finishes in years. Now moving on to the price, here's where things start to get really interesting. The iPhone 17 starts at $800, same as last year. No price bump despite the doubled storage and feature additions. When you compare it against the Pro iPhones, you are really asking, are the telephoto camera, the redesigned chassis, and a slightly larger sensor worth the extra cash? For most people, I would say no. Of course, it's not perfect. Zoom capabilities are still weak. Gaming can heat things up, artificial intelligence, their AI push still feels half-baked. And design-wise, it's basically the same iPhone we've seen for years, but none of these things are a deal breaker for the average user. So, who's the iPhone 17 really for? If you're coming from an iPhone 13 or 14, this is a meaningful upgrade. If you've been tempted by the Pro models in the past, but didn't want to spend more, this is finally the standard iPhone that doesn't feel compromised. And if you just wanted a reliable, polished iPhone without worrying you're missing out, the iPhone 17 is that phone. To wrap this up, the iPhone 17 finally feels complete. The always-on display, high refresh rate, a brighter, bigger screen, more storage, better battery life, decent cameras, and all at the same price of $800, the iPhone 17 is looking to be the perfect phone for everyone who wants to upgrade. For the first time in years, buying the standard iPhone doesn't mean settling. It's the only one I would actually recommend for most people this year. And that's it for this video, guys. Would you go for the iPhone 17 or still pick up the Pro models? Let me know down in the comments below. I would like to hear from you. I'll be doing a full comparison between the two soon, so subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out. Catch you in the next video.